What's up, YouTube? Absolute here, doing a video for the Mamba monster, Rustler. This video is actually a question where, after much debate with a specific little-known hobby company, trying to track down this Intigy 34-tooth Spur here, I was finally able to get it, but it took, like 4 weeks or so, and they sent a package, and then it was wrong address, went back, sent another one, and when I finally got it, it was actually missing this spur, which is the reason I placed the order with them to begin with, because, again, as you guys may know, this is extremely difficult to find, this spur gear here, so they're back ordered, sold out everywhere. But anyways, it's finally here. I received it. I also got the Traxxas 34-tooth Pinion for the XO, and that is part number 6493. I received that bad boy, but I already knew this before even I got the Spur when I kind of mocked it up with a 32 teeth Spur, that this wasn't going to fit. I mean, it fits here, so I could show YouTube and be like, look at my gearing, but I can't run my truck because, and the reason why, and I'll show you here, is like essentially for it to actually take off the pinion, where you could see where the shaft is right up against this housing here. Actually, where it sits right here, it won't really spin, but if you kind of tinker it back and just push it back just a little bit to bury the edge before it touches right there, then you're gonna get that free flow, which, by the way, it's still weird for me hearing metal on metal pinion spur. Sounds kind of loud, and I'm sure when it runs, it's gonna be definitely loud, which is awesome. So my question is this. By the way, these pinions, a lot of people think that they are 2mm. And this is a 2.5 millimeter shaft that removes it. It's actually not, as a matter of fact. It's actually excuse me. Actually, this is a 2mm. The 5mm shaft pinions uses what a lot of people think is a 2mm hex, but as a matter of fact, that is not true. Even if the entire vehicle is metric, a lot of these pinions actually use 5/64. If it's 2mm here, then it's actually 5/64. It's the actual size that the grub screw that goes in. I imagine it's because of the supplier, and they probably said, hey, 2mm and 5/64 is close enough, but it's actually not the case. It's actually 5/64. You guys probably noticed that you've stripped out a lot of the grub screws and the holes that the threading that the grub screws go in. You can't feel like you can ever get tight enough, or you put on once and actually after like the second time taking it off, removing it, it strips out. And that's the reason why, is because it's not 2mm. It's actually 5/64, which is very, very close. But that'll make the biggest difference when it comes to stripping it out or not. That'll make a big, big difference. So with that quick little tip there for you, if you've stumbled upon it, and start writing a lot of those out. So anyways, going back. So with this motor, of course, this extremely oversized, beastly motor of a thing going on this 1/10 scale vehicle. With this motor, where the last position for this screw, here, is actually right here. This is as far. Let's see, put it in. Just farthest back. This is actually as far as one can get it here. Get that motor shaft right there with the current holes that are here in the transmission, the slide holes for the bottom screw, the set holes. And with putting it on, you can see that it's obviously over too big. So my question to the community is this: what did you guys do to mount if you're running this setup? Which I think Aces, and I've seen it on Geostel's car. I'm not sure if they have the opportunity to run it or not with this setup, but my question is that if you're running it, what did you do to be able to run this 34/34 1/1 scale gearing? Which, by the way, the hobby store guys locally here are all ecstatic to see this thing run. They keep asking me about it every time I come in. When they're gonna see this thing run, because when this pinion came in, when I ordered it and this pinion came in, they knew exactly who it was for. Because they know what's going on. So my question is that. So my question is, what my thoughts were is either do this myself, which I'd rather not, just because it's, you know, dangerous to try to work on an aluminum transmission like this. There's a slim chance I can actually make it look as good as it does now. I fear this hole here being all jacked up, but it obviously needs to continue to about here. Let's see better view there, till about here to be able to fit that motor. It needs about an eighth to a quarter of an inch for that shaft to be able to slide. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, it needs about exactly as much space that's left between here and here, so it needs more than a quarter of an inch or so right there, a little over 3/8 maybe, for it to slide all the way back and to be able to just barely fit that pinion in. So my question is, who's ran this gearing, and if so, how did you do this? Because no one running it, of course, is running the plastic tranny. It's all about this. And so how did you do it? If it was a plastic transmission, I'd dribble that thing out in 3 seconds. But being that it's not, you know, I don't want to butcher it. My thoughts are either A, you know, cross my fingers and get one of those tungsten carbide drill bits that Dremel sells and go for it, or B, do it on a drill press, which I don't currently own, so I'd have to, there's no space for it here, so I'd have to take it to a family member's house, something like that, to have it done, or C, take it to a machine shop who could probably do the best work. Well, not probably, could do the best work, you know, probably pay something like $20 just for that. So so that's the question. So what did you guys do, and how'd you do it? Quick little update as well. I might as well show as well what the update on the Rustler. Besides that, of course, you can kind of see it here in its current naked form without wheels and tires. Kind of screwed it back here. Kind of get a closer look of my setup here. And a lot of that aluminum is going to stay on, except for I'm debating on the front shock tower because that'll bend. I have this set up on my Stampede, and I have crashed and crashed and crashed, and it's not going anywhere. I mean, knock on wood, it's been super strong. I've broken all the parts around except for this STRC caster and carrier setup there. It's been awesome. Shocks also, they're not going to be prone to bending the way that they are and the way that they move. So, but I did go ahead and I got some 17mm adapters from AKA Racing. There's only 2 good adapters out there pretty much that are worth their weight in aluminum, and that's going to be the AKA Racing, which I got a set of the 2-wheel drive for the Slash, so essentially longer offset for the front to run with, of course, the shorter front arms. And then I also got a set of the 4x4 for other vehicles that I have around here as well. Be able to, of course, run the you know, the X01 wheels and tires, which I'm still very curious to get my own opinion on how these will work. Exactly how these will work on here. I still want to grab my own opinion and everything, so, you know, before I take anybody else's. I want to get my own opinion, my own setup, and I'm pretty particular about things not rattling, to see if it does wobble, if it doesn't, if I get lucky enough for it not to wobble. But, you know, pretty excited about that. So that's the update there. I still got to yet to mount the ESC, install the servo, and I feel like that's kind of one of the last things. That'll be quick, simple, and easy. Oh, also switch out the front arms with the RPM ones. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Maybe I'll do that later. And then I guess it's all debating on too as well, because I want to do it all at once. Do the front shock tower. Leave the STRC. I actually had one on the back as well, and actually that one no doubt I replaced with the RPM. But on the front, you know, weight distribution is nice. And also the shock mounting positions, having these different ones is really nice to get it kind of exactly where I want it. Leave it on or take it off and put on the RPM one. So that's the question. But, you know, that's the question myself, I guess. The question here mostly to the community is, what did you do here if you're running the setup? If you're not, you know, what are you running? You know, I'm imagining like a 25 tooth spur. What will fit here without any modifications? I'm guessing like a 25 tooth pinion from like maybe Castle or HPI or something will fit on there without any modifications. So post comments down below. Hit the like button if you like. I'll be checking back in soon with some updates. Get the front arm replaced, the servo mounted, the new servo installed and everything. In the meantime, take it easy. Peace.